Hey YouTube, how's everybody doing? I apologize for the darkness of this video. We have moved some lights out of the house and we're emptying out the house. There's a reason why. I have some good news. We got that house out near Dallas that we were working on. It's finally in our possession. And that brings me to this. This is going to be a things that piss me off category video. And you guys know about this. If have any of you out there ever been on an electrical co-op, I'm going to tell you a little something. And this is one thing. Oh, if you hear a hum out there going on, like a low-level hum, that's that Harbor Freight generator I did a review on a couple of years back. That thing's still ticking. I'm putting it through its maintenance phase right now because I'm going to be carrying that along. And there's a reason why I'm going to be carrying that along, and that kind of ties into this video too. I was on a co-op years ago. I have to turn my head to get under this light so you guys can see me. I was on a co-op years ago. The first electric company I ever got with was Mid-South Electrical Co-op. My first experience doing business with an electrical co-op was good. You know, the power was cheap. And when they did have overages, you know, you'd get a little charge on your bill for the extra fuel they had to buy or whatever the extra energy they had to purchase. But then again, when they did too much, when they took in too much on a bill, you'd get a little check back later on down the line. You know, each member would get a little check back in the mail. So then I went over to Reliant. Well, let me tell you a little something about Reliant Energy. That is the most shitbag. You have to excuse my cussing. This really pisses me off. That was the most shitbag electric company I ever went with. They'd feed us 1 month, and they would starve us the next. And it wasn't because of electrical use. About every 3 months, we would get we would get a bill, a corrected bill. They were friggin' estimating our meter. The meter's sitting right out there. This is before smart meters and all that other crap. This was pre-2012. They were estimating our meter. We'd get a bill for like 50 or 60 bucks, and we're like, okay, is this real or is this it's almost like the meter reader, because it would be even numbers. There would be no dollar and cents. There'd just be dollars. And it'd be some taken out of the air, like 50, 60, 70, 80. Excuse me, I have a cold. And they would just pull it out of their asses, you know. And you could look on the graph, the energy use graph, and you could see where they were estimating, because it was like, dit, and then that corrected bill. Then we'd get a bill for like $400 or $500, because by law, every third month, they're required to actually read that son of a bitch. And so we would have a month of extremely hard times, you know. But then we'd have the 2 months, you know, after you got over that hump, we'd have those 2 months where you could just get by. And we're like, well, you could plan for that. No, you can't. You can't plan for that because you just don't know how much they've offset. I had to go into deferred bills twice because I had bills in a range of 500 up, you know, that would hit every other month. And you look at the power consumption, and you know, you could see the numbers were rigged. They just weren't coming out and reading the meter, except when they, you know, every once in a while. And it was just right there on the side of the house. You just walk in the yard, less than 100 feet. It's right there. You could see it from the street. But the guy just would not come up. And then they said, vicious dogs. I'm like, dude, we don't have any dogs. The dog we had was in the house, you know, and so we told him, we said, well, we normally keep the dog in the house, but we can make sure to keep him in if we know kind of what time they come out to read the meter. They couldn't give us an approximate. They couldn't even give us an approximate. So anyway, that was my experience with Reliant. And it got to the point I couldn't pay that shit. You know, I got to my last deferment. I couldn't pay it. So I bought 10 solar panels, a charge controller, and a good set of deep cycle batteries. And I told him, fuck you, and I put him on the rack. Well, I owed him somewhere between $600 and $700 that last little bit when they popped us. I eventually paid it down, but it kept popping up on my credit reports. It's been paid, but every 6 or 7 years, they pop it back on that report, and it fucks with my credit. And I've disputed the charges, it won't go away. I also noticed that every time it pops up on that credit report, it's a different collection agency that picks it up. So I think they're just shelling it around, even though it's been paid, you know. One doesn't know what the other does. In fact, it's off of 2 of the 3 credit reporting companies. There's only one now that it pops up on. But anyway, so that went on, you know, we moved away from there. And then I'd had solar for 3-4 years, and it ran beautifully, and it didn't take a lot to build it. So I get up here, and I get on with Jasper Newton Electrical Co-op. That's the biggest bunch of shit bags, too, but for another reason. I've paid my bill religiously without fail since 2012, you know. And if it were the energy consumed that I was paying for, my bills would be next to nothing at all. It's been rock solid stable as far as energy use. There's been no miscalculations. And I'm happy with that part. But about 2013, they started adding a little thing called the PCRF charge. And what that's for, let's say they have to buy fuel or buy energy, when they have a shortfall. So they'll tack that on as a PCRF charge that everybody absorbs. And I'm like, okay, when they were like 10 or 12%, that's nothing, that's fine. Right now we're paying upwards of 50% more on our bills over that PCRF charge. It has, since that year, crept up until it is. There have been times it's spiked and it's been over 60% more than what the bill is. So we're double paying, and we've been double paying ever since we've been here, close to it. It rarely runs below 30%. It rarely runs below 30% of our bill. And it spikes at around 50%, and one time I think it was 60%. And for a person who's sitting there trying to calculate and keep a budget, when you got that PCRF charge going, all over the place and way the hell up there. It's like right now I use maybe $80, $80 or $90 this month worth of electricity. My bill is $180, and all of that is eaten up in that damn PCRF charge. And I have a light, it's like $7 for that light. I don't mind paying for that because we got a weirdo here in the neighborhood. It's good to have security lights. So anyway, now that we got this house up around Dallas, we're dealing with a company called TXU. It's going to be a miracle if my lights are on. Most of these companies now, they farm their customer service out of the country. When you get electricity with these guys, there's nowhere to take your letter of credit. And I have good credit with JNEC. I am solidly invested in them. And I went up there. There's no place to take it. When you go to get your light, you know what you got to do? You either got to go to a website to get it switched on, or you got to call these guys, and somebody in a foreign country does that. And when you get your lights turned on, here's the thing about these smart meters, and this is where I think it's going to be a pain in the ass. They just send a command out to the meter at your address, and it switches itself on. Click, But they were like a $500 deposit to turn that son of a bitch on. Excuse me. A $500 deposit to turn that son of a bitch on. And I was like, I got a letter of credit. Okay, well, you've got to email it to, they give you the general email. That same email goes to the whole company. God knows where that went. Oh, we can't find the email. I emailed it to you 3 times. The PDF of the letter of credit. I had to scan that thing. I had to attach it to an email and send it to that address, and they just could not find it. Finally, after talking to 3 people, I get one who can speak English that I can understand. And I'm not being a bigot here. I literally could not understand that. I didn't even know what the hell I was signing up for, half of it. I had to make corrections. When I got the guy who spoke plain English, I found out she had enrolled me in this plan and that plan and this feature and that feature, when all I want to pay it each month, just basic. Turn my lights on, send me a bill for the kilowatts I use each month, and any little surcharge that you stick on there. She had me on this green plan, and this super plan, and this other plan, and it was almost 15 cents or more a kilowatt hour after she got done signing me for all this crap. So when I finally got it fixed, I got it fixed where it was just paying the bill and having the lights. It's like 8 cents a kilowatt hour, which is what I wanted. I don't want all that other crap on there. I got 2 electric bills I got to carry. I'm going to be carrying for this house, and I'm going to be carrying for that one. I don't want all that stupid crap on there. So we're going to see. They said my lights would be on in 24 hours pending receipt of the letter of credit, which they say they got. You know, and waive the deposit. I hope, because I don't have $500 to throw their way right now. And we'll see what happens. I hope this isn't a precursor. It took like 3 or 4 phone calls to finally get all that crap straightened out. And I hope when I arrive up there with all that furniture and stuff, that all that's going to be fixed. We'll see. We'll see. So this is the future of getting electric power to your house. You know, I'm really serious. I got 2 solar panels left, and I got like 4 amorphous panels left. And I still got my charge controllers. The only thing in my inverters, the only thing I gotta do is put a battery at the heart of the system. But if this goes to the shitter, like I'm kind of thinking it might, if this becomes a big yin-yang, I'm just gonna put those panels up on that metal roof, and I'm gonna set the charge controller in the attic and set a battery bank up, and they go fuck themselves. You know, that's why they're telling people solar is impractical. It's not. I should know. I lived for several years on it. What they don't like is when you don't have that meter on your house, they can't sell you something. And they're working the laws in these cities to where you have to have that. You have to have it. You know, you can't get a certificate of occupancy on a house unless you're hooked to the grid. You want to know if that's true or not? Have the electric company turn your power off and live like that for a little while and watch. You're going to get a note on your door or a letter in your mail saying that you have to vacate the premises. A lot of cities will not let you occupy a house without power or without a grid hookup. And if you have power and you're making your own power, you have to prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that you're living there with your own power. But you will have to have the grid go into that house. Now, the way around it a lot of people are doing is they'll turn it off. Once they get it, they'll flip the main breaker, they'll hook their solar panels up on a secondary breaker, kind of like a transfer switch, and they'll do it that way. But I'm starting to run into a lot of interesting things just getting lights on my damn house. Yeah. And from what I understand, Reliant and these other ones, they're also farming all their crap out to other countries now. And that's basically how it works. They send a command that turns your meter on, down the pipe. It's all wireless. All these smart meters are on a mesh network. And if you miss your payment even by 1 day, like here, JNEC doesn't play around. If you're overdue or it arrives 1 day late, they send the disconnect notice out. And if it's, I've paid them all on time, even on the last day, but I've gotten late notices because that last day, sometimes it'll skip over to the next business day. They have a third party that handles their online payments. And the late notices have been sent. But, anyway, that's what I'm going through. We got a new house. It's a nice house. But there's no power on it. We got the water and everything switched on. That day, it was so easy to get water, sewer, and garbage set up. A simple deposit. It wasn't a lot. It was like 150, 200 bucks, something like that. Everything's set up and ready to go. The other thing in a city, they require you to mow your lawn, keep your lawn mowed. It's part of the ordinance. No problem with that. Got a brand new lawnmower fixing to load on the truck. You know, it's not a huge amount of space to have to mow. You just get out there, and you're done. You know, it's a corner lot, so it's a little bit bigger than all the rest. We got a house that was built in the I think it was 1890 something. It's 123 years old, and it's still solid as a rock. There's a few things that you would expect. There's some irregularity in one of the floors, but you know, you have a house sitting there for that long, you're going to have shifts, and it's just a matter of releveling. That's no problem. But the floors are solid as a rock. You know, there's no bounce or anything like that. Well-built house. So that's pretty much how that's going. I'm going up there first. She's got to complete the year out here teaching school, and then she may go up there. But I'm basically the advanced guard. I got to be up there so that we don't get vandalism or theft. Especially if they don't turn the damn lights on. I'm going to have to sit up there with the lights off with a gun. But I'll have the dog with me. Bringing the dog. Dog will let me know if somebody's messing around where they ain't supposed to be. The first thing that happened when I got there, here comes a humping, thumping, bumping carload of trouble, man. Watching me unload that car. They just pulled up there and they stopped for a while and they watched me moving stuff in that house. And then they slowly moved up the street. Wom, 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 robber, 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 wom, wom, wom. You know, that's, oh God, I hope this isn't how it's going to be. I hope this isn't how it's going to be around here. Because, you know, the realtor will lie to you straight-faced about the situation in a community. I started finding out interesting things. Turns out our neighbor on the corner, she's out on work probation. I don't know what she did, but, you know, they got her out on work probation. The others are nice people from what I hear. We got mostly elderly around there. You know, it's a quiet place otherwise, but we'll see. We'll see. It's all new stuff, you know. It's all new stuff. But glad to be getting out of here, man. I'm tired of dealing with psychos across the street causing us hell. Things like that. So, excuse me. I'm really sorry about this cough. Nothing I can do about it. I'm at that stage of a head cold where it tried to go into my chest. And, I'm just now, it's all coming out of my chest now, so. But it made the trip interesting, being sick and trying to handle all this stuff. God, man. And let me tell you something. Don't ever go to a closing for a house and think you're going to get out of there quick. That doesn't happen. None of them people had their, you know, they had bits and pieces of the paperwork they needed. We had done everything on our side of the equation. We'd filled out all the forms, sent them in, carried the paperwork that was necessary to complete the job. The loan officer was missing half her paperwork. The realtor was missing half of her paperwork. Nobody knew what the hell the other one was doing. It's a miracle we got the key in our hand, you know. But they said it was all final and everything. The only thing they said was don't buy anything big or do any huge purchases, at least for 1 month. They watch it for a month. So, there was also all kinds of other weird things. I'll probably do another video about house closings, our experience. But that's all for this one. It's getting long. If you stayed with me this long, hey, you know, thanks a lot. Thanks for watching the video. I guess that's it. I never in a million years, you know, this house, I closed on this house quick and easy. But you have to do anything with a bank. Oh my God. So anyway, y'all have a good one. And hopefully I'll get some more videos up to y'all very soon. Thanks a bunch.